Hi everyone, my name is Julie. This is Keep Calm with Books and Coffee, and today I am going to be talking about the 2018 TBR in review for 2023. Starting to get weird with years around here. So in 2021, I started a series on my channel where I grouped the books on my TBR by the year that I purchased them, and I had polled my audience to say, are these books worth it? Tell me if I should definitely DNF this book, forever. Did this book hold up over time? I had books all the way back to 2016 on that TBR. And I was like, this is too long. I need to analyze this a little more. So I did that. Then in 2022, I compared what was left on my TBR to what I had on my TBR in 2021, and kind of did the same thing of, am I going to read this book? Am I still interested? And after putting those books back on the shelf, I made another list, and here we are in 2023 comparing what I have left to what I had last year. So we are on the 2018 shelf, and I have added an element this year that was inspired by Kayla over at Books and Lala, so I will have her video down below. What she did was, when she went through her TBR, she read and ranked the first chapter of each book on her TBR. I'm not doing the ranking, but I did read the first chapter of each one of these books that I have remaining to see if I am still interested. So that's a new element to this year. So the stats, we are going to go through the 2018 books. I had 16 books in the video last year, 16 that I talked about, and I have made a lot of progress. Unfortunately, I have DNF'd or unhauled without even trying 10 of those 16 books, and I have 6 remaining. So out of the 16 books that I had on my TBR, I haven't finished one from that list. Some of them were long-standing books that I had tried and just not gone back to. Some of them I've unhauled without even trying, and some I tried and I DNF'd. So out of all of them, the ones that I had DNF'd were Stormfront by Jim Butcher, Strange and Ever After, Darkness, Strange and Lonely. I don't remember what those two were actually at this point. Shadow of the Fox, Queen of Blood, Hounded, Dread Nation, The Shadow Queen, Queen of Air and Darkness, and The Inventor's Secret. Those were all DNF and unhauls. So what I have remaining are 6 books. The first one is Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. Still interested in this. I talked about Strange the Dreamer last month. This is the second book in that duology, so obviously I can't read this till I read that. I'm working on getting Strange the Dreamer on a TBR, but I just haven't had the chance yet. But this one isn't going anywhere just yet. I also didn't read the first chapter of that one because it's the second book in the duology. But the next 5 I did read the first chapter of, and I think I'm going to keep all of them. The first is Written in Red by Anne Bishop. This is a paranormal urban fantasy series. The premise really intrigues me. I have this highly recommended to me by a friend that I trust. I want to read this. It's probably going to end up being a buddy read at some point with that friend, so I just haven't read this yet. But it's high up on the TBR. I'm still interested. Just keeps getting pushed around. Next up is Daughters of the Storm by Kim Wilkins. This is one that I thought might end up being one that when I read the first chapter I wasn't interested in. I actually read the prologue and the first chapter, and I found this really intriguing. I liked the writing style, I liked the characters that we were introduced with, and I found it interesting how we were gonna view all of these characters. Like, we kind of set up even the villains as sympathetic characters, which was interesting. So I decided to keep going with this. This will hopefully be on TBR soon, but this definitely helped me keep this more in the front of my mind by reading the first chapter. Tempest and Slaughter by Tamora Pierce I have talked about a couple of different times, I think, in this series, in that this is a Tamora Pierce book. I will read it eventually, but this is one of those books that is sort of like The Name of the Wind for me. The next book in this series doesn't have a date for release. It doesn't have, affirm that it is coming. So I'm kind of holding off on reading this one till I know the series is going to be continued. I love Tamora Pierce's books. I have read them since I was a little kid. but I just know that the like release date and timeline for this is very long, so I don't want to read this and then immediately have to reread it when the other book comes out. So this one's kind of gonna stay on my shelf, but it's not a priority for me. Then I have Molokai by Alan Brennert, and this is another one. I actually read this for a Try a Chapter tag video that I did a couple of months ago, a little while ago now, and I reread this first chapter. Still very interesting. This is something that I think I want to get an audiobook for, because it seems like it's a very a story that's very much narrative and kind of memoir-like, along with it being a historical fiction. So I do want to try this. I want to give this more than just the first chapter. I find it intriguing, but I think I need a different format than the physical book. The last one is The Silvered by Tanya Huff. This is on my TBR. I just talked about this for the Magical Readathon. This is going to be something, it could be a DNF. I did reread the first chapter. It is intriguing, but it's also something that might not keep me interested, just depending on how all of this goes. So there's definitely things there. There's elements that I could absolutely love, and there's other ones that could cause me to give up completely. So we'll see where this goes, but it's definitely up in the air. But since it's already on my TBR for next month, I didn't like go any further and see if I wanted to DNF it. But those are all the books that are left on my 2018 TBR. So I removed about 2/3 of them from this list, which is pretty good. I am really happy that the first chapters that I did read were ones that I had interest in, and I think that'll help me continue to like clear things out as we go. What happened last year was I pulled the books off the shelf, and then as I put them back on the shelf, a lot of things got pulled, or I realized I wasn't as interested, and I did it kind of post video. So a lot of this I'm hoping will happen before I film now, since I'm reading the first chapters and kind of digging into the books before I film and talk to you guys. So hopefully it'll reduce it even further than what I have like right now. So we'll see. But I thought that added an interesting element to this year. I continue to improve and navigate this series as we go. But that is it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any thoughts or feelings or want to share anything about these books, I'd love to hear it down below. That's it for me today, and I will see you next time. Bye!